My name is Kellianne Davis, and I'm the Business Development Manager for the City of Wilson. I grew up outside of Charlotte in a town called Gastonia. I went to college. I went to undergrad at High Point University. I was on a pre-law track, political science, criminal justice, philosophy, and studying for the LSAT, just on my way to go to UNC Law School or Wake Forest Law or North Carolina Central University. I didn't know where I was going to go, but I knew I was going to be a lawyer until I got into more of the civics portion of my political science track and found out that it was really at the local government level you could make a significant impact to your community. And I began to talk to my college advisor and was so impressed with, was really exposed for the first time. In speaking with my college advisor, I was exposed for the first time into this idea of getting a public administration degree. And I looked around at accredited public administration programs, and the options were Boone, Chapel Hill, of course, Appalachian State University in Boone, UNC Chapel Hill, and East Carolina University at the time. And although I love the mountains, I really like to see them just on TV with the snow on them. And I'd like to see, and I did, I'm a Tar Heels fan and thought the UNC would be a great school, but was very impressed with the opportunity to wear purple and gold and attend East Carolina in Greenville. And so I was happy to choose that decision to go off and get abandon the law school track and go off and get my master's in public administration at East Carolina. And that's what brought me out to the eastern part of the state. After getting my master's degree, I had the opportunity to work for the city of Rocky Mount, doing community development work, and fell in love with the fact that residents just love their community so much, want to see it grow, want to see their neighborhoods improve, want to see their housing options improve, want to see their houses redeveloped, and give back to the community in that way. Although I was on the more neighborhood side in Rocky Mount, when I had the opportunity to come to Wilson and help with the business development side and grow our downtown, I was just thrilled. And I had and working in Rocky Mount, I had a crush on Wilson and all that they were doing here. And so, although they, are sometimes seen as these rival neighboring communities, there's so much to learn from both of them. And to be able to just slide over just 20 minutes away and come to Wilson was a dream come true. And since then, I've loved being here in Wilson. One thing I wish I'd known when I was growing up and when I was in high school was that there are several different ways you can go out and make a difference. So in other words, I was looking at the national landscape and seeing these politicians and seeing that many of them had a law background. What I thought I understood in high school is that if you want to be a change maker, you have to go off, get elected, and gain power to make decisions that affect people. In looking at those elected officials, I noticed a pattern that many of them had a law background. And I was always told I talk a lot and I argue a lot, so I could be a lawyer. I was like, okay, that's easy. I want to make change, so be a lawyer so I can eventually run off, go get elected and, be a politician, make the change I want to see in the world. What I wish I'd have done is identified quicker that what I was really passionate about was making a difference and not being a politician or not having power. It was just making a difference. And had I honed in on that sooner, I think I would have understood that there are several different careers I could have gone into to be the change agent I wanted to be, to make a difference in my community that I wanted to make. So one thing I would encourage any student to think about is what are they actually really passionate about, and explore the gamut of all the different ways that they can accomplish that, as opposed to just looking and seeing whoever's the top dog in whatever your field is, realizing that if you want to save lives, for instance, if you have a passion for caring for people, you don't need to go off and be a doctor in order to do that. The way you can care for people is by, being a home giver, being a loving and caring teacher, being a nurse. It's not all about, looking all the way up at the top like I did, looked at the president and said, I got to go do that. That's not necessarily the case. You can make change in many different career fields. Any student who's not exactly sure what they want to do, just volunteer in a field related or even slightly adjacent. That's a really good way for you to learn about your intended career path without having to commit to a bunch of tuition, a bunch of student debt, and a bunch of frustration to find out that there's a lot more that you can get exposed to just by volunteering. As the business development manager for the city of Wilson, I'm responsible for business recruitment, business retention, and property redevelopment. So what I love about business recruiting is I'm able to talk to a lot of people who love what they do, love what they sell, love what they cook, love what they make. They're artists, they're chefs, they're your regular boutique owners. And I just love talking with all the different people that I get to work with. In business retention, I get to help those business owners who have been here for a number of years, who want to grow their business or add another element and innovation to their business, and I'm able to brainstorm with them and help them see how they can accomplish that, or how grow their business and market to a different customer base than they already have. And in property redevelopment, I absolutely enjoy seeing the transformation of properties. It's like doing HDTV, but in real life. You're just able to look at these buildings, see what their potential could be, and see it come to fruition, and being a part of that by, even some of the boring aspects about telling them what permit to go get or what contractors that they should be looking to select. And these types of things, they seem small, but they help move that development along. And then the end product after the redevelopment is done is so fulfilling to me. It's rewarding to see that all that hard work has paid off and the community now gets to enjoy the new asset. Although I don't live where I grew up right now, I think about it all the time about how Kellianne, living in Gastonia, North Carolina, going to school at North Gaston High School, wanted to see her community redeveloped. When I graduated high school, one of the big goals of me and several of my classmates was to leave our small town and never come back. That mindset has changed for me dramatically, because even though I'm not working in my community right now, I love seeing communities like Wilson, which are similar to the communities I grew up in. It is so important to have those hometown heroes, and they're my champions every day. Going to talk to the locals that care about their community, what I'm able to get done with them, the business recruitment that is able to happen, the property redevelopment that's able to happen, that is so much more impactful than trying to convince other people to care about a community that they didn't grow up in. So if you're in high school right now and you're thinking you need to leave and never come back, think again. Wilson is a great place to do whatever you want to do in this world. Come back. Don't write Wilson off when you go off and get that degree or that continuing education, that trade. Think about how you could come back to Wilson and apply the new skills that you've learned. If you're curious about anything I've said today, if you're thinking about being an entrepreneur, if you would like to know more about property redevelopment, contracting, construction, any of these things, and I can be of help to you, please be sure to reach out.